Jake had always been the dependable son, the one who stepped up when his parents needed help. For years, he had dedicated himself to ensuring their lives were stable, handling everything from mortgage payments to grocery shopping and home repairs. He took pride in being the pillar of support for them, especially as his younger brother, Eric, preferred a life of leisure, seemingly content to let Jake bear the financial burdens. Despite the sacrifices he made, Jake felt a deep sense of obligation, believing that his love and support would be recognized and appreciated. However, everything changed when Jake accidentally discovered his parents' will while helping them with their paperwork. The folder was labeled Estate Plan and Last Will and Testament, and despite his internal conflict about invading their privacy, his curiosity got the better of him. As he opened the document, his heart sank at the realization that all their assets, the house, savings, and property, were left to Eric. In contrast, Jake received only vague mentions of love and support, which felt like a slap in the face. It was as if the years he spent ensuring their well-being meant nothing to them. The betrayal cut deep. All those times he had been there, providing financial assistance and emotional support, flashed before his eyes. Instead of gratitude, he was met with dismissal and a stark reality. His parents had decided that Eric, the son who contributed nothing, was more deserving of their legacy. Jake's hands trembled with a mixture of anger and disbelief as he confronted his father about the will. His father's reaction was nonchalant, a dismissive sigh escaping his lips as if Jake's feelings were trivial. This only intensified Jake's sense of betrayal. When Jake's mother entered the conversation, her response was equally infuriating. She suggested that Jake didn't need the inheritance because he had a good job, while Eric struggled. In that moment, the realization hit him harder than ever. His parents viewed him not as a son deserving of equal consideration, but as a mere financial resource. They believed they were justified in their decision, a choice molded by years of enabling Eric's entitled behavior. Taking a deep breath, Jake laid the will on the table, his heart heavy with disappointment. He told his parents that he was finally aware of where he stood in their eyes. Leaving their house, he slammed the door behind him, feeling a mix of relief and sadness as he resolved to distance himself from them. For the first time, he would refuse to support their lifestyle, allowing them to face the consequences of their choices. The silence that followed was deafening. Jake didn't reach out, and he expected his parents to realize the gravity of their actions. 2 weeks passed, and he felt a strange sense of empowerment. However, when he received a cold message from his father reminding him about property taxes, the reality of their expectations hit hard. They still treated him as their financial safety net, despite their earlier dismissals. Jake's response was firm. He suggested that Eric should handle it since the house now belonged to him. This triggered a series of reactions from both his parents and Eric, ranging from guilt trips to accusations of selfishness. Eric insisted that Jake was being dramatic, reducing the entire situation to a mere financial transaction. Meanwhile, his mother tried to manipulate him by invoking memories of family support, claiming that families take care of each other. Jake felt a surge of anger. He had taken care of them for years while being excluded from their plans. The situation escalated when his parents arrived unannounced at his apartment, claiming it was an emergency. They stood outside, demanding support as if Jake were obligated to help them. His father scoffed at Jake's decision to stop helping, while Eric remained indifferent, seemingly detached from the chaos. When Jake confronted Eric about his lack of responsibility, it was clear that Eric had no intention of stepping up. Jake's resolve only strengthened. He reiterated that their choices had consequences and that if they had chosen Eric over him, they would have to deal with the fallout. After dismissing them firmly, he returned inside, feeling a mix of empowerment and frustration. The barrage of messages from his parents and Eric didn't faze him. He blocked them all and focused on reclaiming his life. The situation took a turn when his parents began to portray him as the villain on social media, claiming he had abandoned them. This manipulation was the final straw for Jake. He decided to take control of the narrative by sharing his own side of the story on social media. He detailed his years of support, the unfairness of their decisions, and his refusal to continue being their financial crutch. Hitting post was liberating. He felt free from the chains of their expectations. The reactions from friends and family were overwhelmingly supportive, affirming his decision to step away from the toxic dynamics of his family. While his parents lashed out, accusing him of airing their private matters, Jake felt no regret. For the first time, he prioritized his well-being and distanced himself from the manipulative grip of his parents and the entitled behavior of Eric. Moving forward, he was determined to surround himself with people who truly valued him for who he was, free from the burdens of his family's expectations and demands.